Ready?
I guess.
Alright, Brian. How old are you?
38 years old. Had to think about that one. Just had a birthday recently, so.
And when were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed with gastric cancer May 4th, 2018.
And what stage are you?
Stage 3 cancer.
What were your symptoms?
In the beginning, it started off as just a bellyache. Not feeling well every once in a while. Ended up turning into sulfuric burps, where it just smelled like rotten eggs every time I burped. But yet, it was the only way I could get my stomach to calm down was to burp. And eventually it turned into a lot of nausea, a lot of vomiting.
So how did they diagnose you?
So they went to my primary. They wanted to check for H. pylori. They ended up running some tests for H. pylori. At the same time, they wanted to send me to a specialist. They ended up sending me to a specialist who ended up finding, who ended up doing an endoscopy. I knew I'd get it right. Endoscopy, and which they ended up finding out that it was the cancer. They ended up finding a big tumor. They found the tumor right between the stomach and the small intestines. So right there at the bottom of your stomach, where it starts to go into the small intestines, it was blocked. Big old tumor, about 8 centimeters, somewhere around there. As to where it had very, very little amount of room around it for anything to get past. So everything that was going in my stomach was coming right back out.
What is H. pylori? What?
H. pylori is a stomach infection, and which could actually lead into stomach cancer if you don't get it taken care of, or if you mistreat it, I guess.
So how did you take the news of your diagnosis?
I don't think I have. It took me a while. I know that when I got first told that I had cancer, I didn't believe it at first. It took me a while to realize that they were serious, that it was for real. I don't know. What was your question?
How did you take the news of your diagnosis?
How did I take it? It was hard. I think it was harder on my family and my wife and than it was on me.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I just think you guys took it a lot harder than I have. Because I know that it didn't hit me for a while. Because of the fact that it didn't hit me for a while, it gave me some time to get immune to it, to get immune to the situation, as to where it really didn't affect me that much once realization set in.
So how long have you been going through treatment?
Well, since May. It's now September. They started me off on chemotherapy. They wanted to do a couple of rounds of chemo. They said because of my age, because of how young I am, they were going to attack it hard. Or attack it fierce. So they basically came at me with everything they had. They gave me the first round of chemo, and that was while I was in the hospital. Second round of chemo, I really don't remember. And the third round of chemo put me back in the hospital. It's no joke when they talk about chemotherapy.
So have you had surgery of any kind?
Yes. So we ended up going to the doctors. We ended up getting the treatment all laid out. A treatment plan. The chemotherapy was, of course, going to be first. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to kill any kind of cancer that was there up front. With the chemotherapy, they were hoping to shrink everything so that they could get in there with the surgery and remove it. Less to remove. And then once they remove everything, then they're going to reattack it again with the chemotherapy and radiation mixed. I ended up having surgery on August 9th, where they removed 80% of my stomach. The surgery, the 3-hour surgery that was initially intended on, turned into an 11-hour Whipple. I'm still not sure what a Whipple is. You'll have to ask my wife to explain that one. But it ended up being a lot more in depth of a procedure than they expected to go in and do in the first place.
So how long does it take to heal from that kind of surgery?
It could take up to 18 months. Fully. And that's for full recoup. In the meantime, it's a slow process. I was allowed to eat at one point, and that quickly went away. As soon as I was allowed to eat, I wasn't allowed to eat. So now I'm on a liquid diet, which does allow lollipops. So obviously you can see me sitting here eating, because that's all I can eat. They have me connected to a food tube, so I am getting my nutrition all through a feeding tube that's connected in my stomach. I'm on constant antibiotic through my port. I am on constant pills and pain meds. That's why I'm a little bit out of it. What was the question?
How long does it take to heal from surgery?
I don't know. It just depends on how strong you are. With me, I thought I was already getting healed. As to why I started to eat already, and it turned out where my body wasn't ready, and it showed me. But it's slowly getting there, I will say that.
What kind of support have you had through this process?
Good, strong support. My wife is the strongest woman I know. Along with my mother. who is also the strongest woman that I know. They together, along with family and friends, have been helping me, have been supporting me, have been taking care of me. My wife has been waiting on me hand and foot, and the rest of my family and friends have been there, strong, supportive, through benefit for me. I've had some visitors, and I mean, I live out here in the middle of freaking nowhere right now, so for people to come all the way out here and actually visit me, it's awesome. It's awesome. I've had some really good support. I couldn't ask for better friends and family.
What do you have to say to somebody that's been diagnosed with cancer recently? What advice would you give them for this process so far?
Not gonna lie, it's not easy. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your strength. It's not an easy process. It's something that could definitely kick your ass and mess up your mind. You gotta make sure that you don't let yourself get consumed. And by that I mean don't get lost in your own thoughts. You have friends and family, utilize them. You have something to do. I've got coloring book, word search words, my PlayStation, like movies, you name it. Find something to do. Keep your mind occupied if you can. Just don't let yourself get consumed into the cancer world. Trust your doctors. Believe that they're going to do everything they can to help you. I am one of 20 people in the entire United States that have had the Whipple done completely robotic. It's not easy. And I definitely would never wish this upon anybody. So, I mean, if you have recently been diagnosed, or not even recently, but you are diagnosed, and if you're not doing anything about it, do something about it. If you've recently been diagnosed, just know that you're in my thoughts, you're in my prayers as well, because we're going through this together. You're never alone. I don't know.